I remember I told everybody when I first became supervisor here that the previous administration and some of them sitting in the crowd was stealing. Did they want to write that story? No, they did not. Because right is right. Y'all wanted to keep that on hush, but nobody would say nothing. But I did, but nobody in the media would say anything. And I hope you're recording this, Lance and John, and put it in your paper, because I'm still telling that story. So now that I created a Tiffany on the Move podcast to tell my story, since don't nobody want to pick it up, and I'm being attacked by the media left or right, I am telling y'all my story. And truth will be heard on the podcast, because no one wants the truth to come out of what they did before me. But while I took office, when I took office, we done a great job. We have got allocated over $15 million, but nobody wrote about that, right? Nobody else went and got that more money than me in the board here. We got $1 million to help the at-risk youth. We put them all back to work. We also gave out 80 scholarships up to $2,500. People have graduated and got jobs and will be working here at the township when they get out of school. But no one's telling you all the good things we do. Everybody want to make it like we're bad when they were bad. They were the one that had it before me and did nothing with it. Why was the number so low? Why wasn't they feeding people in the food pantry, but they were spending the money out of the food pantry, but wasn't feeding the people, right? But these all the facts and things that I'm gonna put out there just to lay the groundwork so people can know what to look for. Do not follow people because they so negative, because misery need company. That's what they need. So don't hang with people that ain't actually growing the community. Go talk to people that want to uplift the black and brown communities, the ones that's neglected.
Well, ever since this situation in Dalton has took national and international news, one man, Ben Bradley has been all over this story from WGN Chicago. He's been on the ground in Dalton, Illinois, talking to the trustees, talking to the business owners, talking to a lot of the disgruntled residents that now take umbrage with the mayor and her administration. He's also been in Thornton Township, talking to the different mayors of those townships, talking to the people who Tiffany Henyard is supervisor over. And it's been a real, man, it's been a ride, man. It's gotten real crazy down there. But he sued the city of Dalton for records, for them to produce the records, because through the Freedom of Information Act, they should have access to the records, and she would not release them. So they went to court, and the court has now sided with WGN and Ben Bradley and them, and now they're uncovering, man, with the stuff that they're seeing now and uncovering. It's crazy because now Tiffany Henyard and her strategy now is to blame everything on her top aide, former top aide, Keith Freeman. They're now throwing Keith Freeman under the bus. But they was able now to see those credit card records and the amount of money that was being spent. And now WGN News is now reporting this.
WGN Investigates has learned taxpayers are on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars more in travel costs for Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration.
It comes after WGN sued the village for refusing to turn over financial records as required by law. A judge sided with WGN. Investigative reporter Ben Bradley shows what those records reveal.
For a year now, we've been reporting on questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard. But we only knew half the story because we only had records from one of the two governments she runs. Now we can show you the real toll her travel is taking on taxpayers.
The self-proclaimed super mayor is a prolific poster on social media, but what she rarely publicizes are her travels, trips frequently paid for by taxpayers.
If you want to have a good time, spend your own dime.
Despite being a trustee, this is the first time Tammy Brown has been able to see the village's credit card statements, records we had to get through a judge's order.
When you see things like this, it's like a punch in the gut.
Last January, we told you Tiffany Henyard and her entourage racked up more than $67,000 in travel-related charges in just 5 months. But that's just what was charged to Thornton Township credit cards, where she's the supervisor. When you add in what was billed to Dalton, trips for Mayor Henyard and her entourage cost taxpayers more than $100,000. We questioned Henyard about travel last fall.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
When Henyard hits the road, she and other village and township officials do so in style. Records show they often fly first class, pay for upgrades. They've stayed at luxury hotels, including the Four Seasons, and dine at steakhouses.
Oh my God. When you just see these things.
Let's look at one trip to Austin, Texas in July of last year. 5 people, including Mayor Henyard, for 5 days. While we previously reported the township was billed $27,000, we now know the actual cost was more than $47,000 when you factor in what Dalton taxpayers were charged. It includes nearly $1,000 spent at an Austin Walgreens and a sports riding apparel store. The only explanation for any of the travel was that it was to attend a conference.
But see, with all the accusations that was being levied against Keith Freeman, because we know Keith Freeman's past, we know he has a criminal past. We know that Tiffany Henyard surrounded herself around a bunch of thugs and people that was in her administration that had checkered past. She even hired a guy that did 26 years in prison for SA assault. Yeah, she had the audacity to bring this man on board. And that was somebody in the past that she actually had relations with. But we know that she had rock solid support from a lot of the trustees in Thornton Township. But now there's a trustee, Carmen Carlisle, who's becoming a whistleblower now. And she's speaking out against Tiffany Henyard. And she's telling all of the secrets and all of the things that they were sworn to secrecy, because this was a black woman that was in position of power, as Trustee Gonzalez said, and why they put her there in the first place. And I often say, what was she there for? But let's look at what Ms. Carlisle is now uncovering now that she's become a whistleblower.
WGN Investigates has learned South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard has lost another key ally. Until recently, Henyard enjoyed near unanimous support on the Thornton Township Board, but now trustee Carmen Carlisle says after trusting Henyard and remaining silent, she will be a whistleblower against Henyard. Carlisle released a statement to WGN that reads in part, "For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents using her position to increase her influence, all while projecting a false image of success funded by the hardworking taxpayers of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton. Henyard shows no accountability or conscience for her actions against employees or taxpayers." Henyard has denied wrongdoing and claims her opponents are out for what she calls clickbait. Tomorrow at 9, tune in for exclusive new reporting on Henyard's spending that she tried to keep secret.
So with Ms. Carlisle snitching, Keith Freeman snitching, and all these different people telling, you have now the floodgates is open, and their strategy is to use this lawyer to come out and blame everything on Keith Freeman. Like I told you guys, she's done. Let's listen to the second half of what Ben Bradley and WGN News has uncovered. Check this out.
Sure, you guys had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain nothing.
Trustees say they've been demanding explanations for months.
You the ones that's costing the village money. I don't have that call. All right. Okay.
But Henyard and her team refused to share the credit card records.
We were never allowed to get those statements. So this is the reason why you hid it from us, because definitely we will have questions.
Mayor Henyard is in a situation where she feels like she's under attack, because she is.
Bo Brinley is Henyard's criminal defense attorney, hired after the FBI served subpoenas on the village and township earlier this year. He blames Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman.
Keith Freeman made the decision on how these funds are being used. Keith Freeman is going on these trips. You understand, this is a new mayor. This is someone that is new to this job.
But she never thought, hey, I shouldn't fly first class. I shouldn't stay at the Four Seasons.
If there was a problem with any of that, if that's not how you're supposed to do it, she relied on Freeman to tell her. He's telling her this is how we do things.
How things were done in Dalton is costing taxpayers dearly. Records we obtained show the village leased 3 luxury SUVs for Henyard's use at a cost to residents of more than $374,000.
The mayor didn't spend any of this money. Keith Freeman made decisions and reported to the mayor, this is what we're doing. The mayor trusted him until she didn't.
About that. This is me talking to people that understand business, that understand finance.
Back to those Dalton credit cards. They include nearly $25,000 charged in 5 months without explanation to places like Walmart, Target, and Jewel. There was $5,000 spent at local restaurants and Uber Eats. And Tiffany Henyard's personal photographer charged the village $3,400.
What I think is interesting about this case, this story, is you can be highly legal and unethical at the same time.
Kelly Richmond Pope is an accounting professor who has investigated municipal spending. She says the brazenness is what caught her eye.
Who does this? Who lives this way so out loud? It's almost like, I dare you to ask. I dare you to ask me. And I'm just shocked that a leader would think that they could get away with this type of behavior and that no one's going to ask them about it.
We out here at Taste of Thornton. Yeah, keep raining, but it's still going on.
Trustees for both of the governments headed by Henyard have now limited special event and credit card spending, but it may be too little, too late. Dalton is laying off workers after trustees discovered the village is millions in the hole.
We sort of knew we were in a bind, but not to this extent. This is devastating.
Federal prosecutors charged Keith Freeman with bankruptcy fraud. He's now cooperating with trustees investigating Henyard's spending, but he denies he's working with the feds. Freeman declined to comment. The FBI's investigation into Henyard marches on. Ben Bradley, WGN Investigates.
The joke of this all is she's cooked, she's fried. She's done. You have this attorney now blaming everything on Keith Freeman. But I want the public to understand that this woman was a trustee for a very long time. She understood how things operated because she was a trustee herself. For her to use a defense to blame Keith Freeman for all of this is now an admission of guilt. It's a direct admission of guilt, and she's done. You can stick a fork in her. Filet and fast food her. It's a wrap. I mean, you're blaming your top aide for something that you was already trained in being a trustee. All of the thousands of dollars that was spent, she understood the credit card records. You eating fine dining, coming from a small town where you know that they can't afford it. You riding around in the best of the cars and the best of the hotels and flying first class and doing all these things, doing so many things that was unethical. You even had the mitigated gall and audacity to go before the Thornton Township and say that Zuccarelli was stealing money and was uncovering the way that they was doing it. But then you would come before the public with that attorney and blame everything on Keith Freeman as if you didn't know because you were a new mayor coming in, when you was able to uncover and show how former Mayor Riley and former Supervisor Zuccarelli was already stealing money. This is a joke. And this is the intelligence level of the way that they actually think the people of Thornton Township and Dalton have. Like, you can't comprehend, you have no level of comprehension. You don't understand. All we got to do is rewind the tape. We can go back and listen to you talking and what things that you were saying, Mr. Henyard. You accused Riley Rogers of being corrupt. You accused Zuccarelli. We have video footage of you arguing with Riley Rogers about the way money is being placed. The same arguments that the trustees was having with you was giving to Riley Rogers, to former Mayor Rogers. And then you're going to come and use this defense? It's over. It's over. Just plead out to something. Get as least amount of time as you can get for the sake of your daughter. And just get out of office and give those people back their city. Get those people. The jig is up. It's over. And it's not just Ben Bradley. You have the State Department, the feds. You have so many different people watching you. And a lot of these other people don't have to run in and get you because you already have so many different alphabet letters already investigating you. You have the lady there that's a financial inspector to different cities. She does the background checks on the money. And look at what she was saying. Miss Richmond, it's over for you. But as more of this come out, I'm going to report more of this, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.